Good afternoon, students. Now, I am your teacher, Jeanette, and please all stand because we are going to pray. So, I will ask Miss Bulfa to please come in front and lead our prayer.
Okay, classmates, please all stand. Bow down your hands and feel the presence of the Lord. Thank you, God, for this wonderful day. Thank you for another knowledge that you will be giving to us, Lord. Thank you for the understanding, Lord, and for the love, Lord God. Thank you for the overflowing blessings, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Okay, now thank you, Miss Bulfa, for leading our prayer. And now, students, I have prepared a video presentation that is related to our topic. And please look closely to the monitor for I will play the video.
There are 13 eligibility categories under the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and it's important for parents to remember that an eligibility category is different than a diagnosis. Just because a child has a diagnosed disability does not necessarily mean that that child meets the eligibility criteria under the federal statute. So these are the definitions under the educational model as to whether or not a child is a special education child, a child with a disability, as defined by law.
Here's the definition of multiple disabilities. Multiple disabilities means concomitant impairments, such as mental retardation, blindness, or mental retardation, orthopedic impairment, the combination of which causes such severe educational needs that they cannot be accommodated in special education programs solely for one of the impairments. Multiple disabilities does not include deafblindness. Your state may have other categories or slightly different categories.
Right. So there are the 13 definitions by federal law, and then again, your state can add to those, vary them slightly as long as they don't take away a child's right to receive services if they meet the criteria under the federal law. And it's important. I find, Julie, a lot of parents get hung up on which eligibility category the team selects. And obviously, the parent should be very integral to deciding which eligibility category, but it's important to remember this. Once you're found eligible for services, you're then entitled, your child is entitled to receive services based on their unique needs. It's not the case that the eligibility category drives the program. It's not supposed to be the case anyway. And I have so many parents who will call me and they're confused. I'll give an example. A parent knows their child requires speech services, and they are hung up on whether or not the eligibility category says that they have a speech and language impairment because they think, I can't get those speech services unless that's the label. It doesn't work that way. It's not supposed to work that way. The way it's supposed to work under the law is that once you're found eligible under one of these categories, then at that point you get a program that meets your child's unique needs. And if that includes speech and language services, that's what the IEP, the Individualized Education Program, is supposed to include. So while I think it's very important as a practical matter to select the right eligibility category that really describes that child, I would say caution parents, don't get as hung up on which eligibility category you select.
So now, students, that the video was ended, I want to ask you a question. So, anyone from the class can share their thoughts according to the video that was that you have to watch. So, yes, Mae. Wow, that was a good realization. So, anyone? Okay, let's hear it from Joy. Yes. That was also a good interpretation of what you have to watch. So, class, you will be able to learn more about what is the video is all about, because our topic this afternoon is related to that, and our topic is severe and multiple disabilities. So, anyone from the class can read what is the severe and multiple disabilities Okay, yes, it's true.
According to the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, multiple disabilities refers to concomitant impairments.
So, when we say concomitant impairments, these are impairments that are simultaneous. When we say simultaneous, it is happening at the same time. So these impairments includes intellectual disability, blindness, intellectual disability or orthopedical impairment, and many more. So, and that will be tackled on the later part of our topic. So now, let us proceed to the next definition, which is the severe disability. So, can anyone read what is severe disability? Anyone? Okay, please.
Severe disability means a severe chronic condition attributable to mental or physical impairment of a person that is likely to continue indefinitely and results as substantial functional limitation.
Okay, so class, students that has multiple disabilities have the average or even above average intelligence, and most of them have the need of extensive support for a longer period of time. So as mentioned, a severe disability is a chronic condition that is attributed to mental and physical impairment. So these impairments are hindering a person to do his major life activities such as self-care, learning, expressive communication or expressive language, and independent living. So these were the effects that originated at birth or is being acquired. So we have now known the definitions of the severe and multiple disabilities, and now we're going to learn what are the causes of the multiple and severe disabilities that will be tackled by our next teacher. Thank you.
So hello everyone. Today before we start, I want you to group yourselves into 5 because we're going to have an activity. So each group will write 8 causes of severe multiple disability. Every correct answers will be given 1 point. So the group that will be having the highest points will be the winner. So are you all ready? Okay, very good. So I will only give you 3 minutes to do it. You now start. Wow! Did you all enjoy the activity? Okay, so everyone, clap your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every one of you participated, and most of you have knowledge already about the causes of severe multiple disability. So today we will tackle about causes of severe multiple disabilities. Okay, now we're going to tackle about causes of severe multiple disabilities. So the first one is, can anyone read? Oh yes, Angelman syndrome. This type of disability includes small head, severe intellectual disability, and they have specific facial impression. This disability, they have difficulty in speaking, having difficulty in their balance and in their movements. They're also having seizures and sleeping problems. Next one is, please read autism. So autism is a developmental disorder in which the child with autism is having difficulty with social interaction and communication, and they have a restricted and repetitive behavior. Next one is, please read cerebral palsy. So cerebral palsy is a group of disorders that affects the body posture, or the muscle tone. So does any one of you know someone who has cerebral palsy? Okay, only a few. Yes. So next is, please read Charge syndrome. Charge syndrome is a disorder that affects many areas of the body, like heart defects, mental retardation, growth retardation, and genital abnormalities and ear abnormalities. I have known a friend who has Charge syndrome. He has an ear abnormality. So next is, please read deafness. Deafness can be partial or complete hearing loss. This is the most known disorder to some. Next one is, please read deaf blindness. Deaf blindness is a combination of sight and hearing impairment. It affects how you communicate, get information, and get around to other people. Being deafblind is not totally blind and deaf. It is residual of sight and hearing. Please read. Yes, intellectual disability. This disability is limited in both intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior. They're having hard time to reason, to learn, and to solve problems. Can anyone read? Yes. Prematurity. Is anyone here is a premature baby? Okay, just kidding. Okay, so prematurity is when a baby is born before 37 weeks due date. Please read shaken baby syndrome. Shaken baby syndrome is an abusive trauma, inflicted brain injury, serious brain injury which resulting from forcefully shaking a baby or a toddler. Who on earth would shake a baby? That is why the reason of causes severe multiple disabilities because of the parents also sometimes. Why would you shake a baby, right? Please read Trisomy 18. Yes. Trisomy 18 is also known as Edwards syndrome. This is a chromosome condition with abnormalities in many parts of the body. Individuals with trisomy 18 often have slow growth before birth, and a low birth weight. also those who uses glasses. Okay, so these are the causes of severe multiple disabilities, but there are other causes of severe multiple disabilities, such as, let us all read, chromosome abnormalities, premature birth, please all read, difficulties after birth, poor development of the brain or spinal cord. Next, infections. Next one, injuries from accident. And genetic disorders. Wow, so you're all now learning. So these are the causes of severe multiple disabilities. Angelman syndrome, autism, cerebral palsy, Child syndrome, deafness, deaf blindness, intellectual disability, prematurity, shaken baby syndrome, trisomy 18, visual impairment, chromosome abnormalities, premature birth, difficulties after birth, poor development of the brain or spinal cord, infections, injuries from accidents, genetic disorders. So, okay, now as I am discussing about the causes of severe multiple disabilities, the next reporter will be discussing about the characteristics of severe and multiple disabilities. I am very much happy that you are all listening in my discussion, and thank you for the cooperation, everyone.
So we are now at the characteristic of multiple disability. Multiple disability category represent a wide range of specific conditions and impairment. The best places for teachers to learn about their individual students with multiple disabilities is past assessments and individualized educational program. So, who can read about the learners with multiple disabilities? So, based on what you read, learners with multiple disabilities share deficit in 5 distinct areas of development. Vary widely in their academic abilities because adaptive skills include conceptual, social, and practical competencies for functioning in typical community setting and age of consistent way. Learners vary widely in their academic abilities because adaptive skills include conceptual, social, and practical competencies for functioning in typical community setting and age of consistent way. Learners with motor development impairments produce abnormal muscle tone and they may have difficulty in sitting and moving. Hearing and vision impairment are very common among children with multiple disability such as deaf and blindness. A lot of learners with multiple disabilities have communication impairment and have limited or no speech at all. Some of the challenges learners with multiple disabilities face include mobility issues. So, in order for multiple disability to progress and reach their potential, teachers need to get creative in the strategies and accommodation they implemented. So, does anyone learning? Do you have any questions? If not, I'm so happy that you all learned for today. Thank you and